On to the next session, after which we will have a Q&A with Anand Gandhi. The next session is the Bangalore floor. It's a lit marathon. So it's a little different in its format. I'm going to be a little strict. I'm going to invite our authors on stage, and each of them will read out their poetries for 2 minutes, after which I'll signal them with a next. Okay? Writers, poets, and performance poets from the city read, perform, or screen their pieces in a lit marathon session. I'd like to invite Joshua Muyiwa, the Great Indian Poetry Collective, which comprises Kombiyil, Minal Hajratwala, Shikha Malaviya, Indira Chandrasekhar, and the Videopoetry Collective. Muyiwa, not yet 29, started writing because he was told it is time to stop seeming arty and pretentious and actually earn the tags by doing something. In Bangalore, he's either drinking tea, smoking cigarettes, dancing madly, and drinking rum and coke at the city's numerous shady establishments, or working as consulting editor at Time Out Bangalore. And lately, he's working up the nerve to take care of his first plant. Nagaraj Vastarey, besides being a passionate architect interested in preserving our rich architectural heritage, Nagaraj is a writer by choice and has written 4 books in Kannada till date. You can read his columns in the Sunday editions of leading dailies such as The Hindu, Deccan Herald, Kannada Prabha, Mayura, Prajavani, among others. He also dabbles in poetry, and if you want to read some of them, do connect with him on Facebook, which is regularly updated with his musings in rhyme. Kombiyil. She is a poet, writer, and writing teacher. Her work has appeared in Beloit Poetry Journal, Cordite Poetry Review, Revolution House, Spillway, and Spry, among others. Her work has also found its way into a slew of literary magazines, including most recently The Pedestal, Perigi, and Poems. She has been invited to read her work at the annual Prakriti Poetry Festival in Chennai, besides Read Leaf Poetry Awards in Hyderabad and Lekhna in Bangalore. She is a 2013 Pushcart nominee, a 2012 Best of the Net nominee, and a founding poet of the Great Indian Poetry Collective. Minal Hajratwala. She is a multi-talented personality wearing different hats, those of a writer, performer, poet, and queer activist. She's an award-winning author of the epic Leaving India, My Family's Journey from 5 Villages to 5 Continents. She spent 2010-11 as a Fulbright Nehru Senior Scholar in India, and during that time edited a groundbreaking anthology, Out, Stories from the New Queer India. Her creative works have received recognition and support from various institutes. She is the creator of Blueprint, Your Book, and Writing from the Chakras. It will be published by the Great Indian Poetry Collective, which publishes contemporary poetry books from India under a collective mentorship model. Shikha Malaviya. She is a graduate from the University of Minnesota with BA and MA degrees in creative writing, mass communications, and liberal studies, with an inclination for verse. She's founder of the Great Indian Poetry Project, an initiative to document, preserve, and promote the legacy of modern Indian poetry. Her book of poems, Geography of Tongues, was launched in December 2013. Her poetry has been nominated for the Pushcart Prize. She also founded Monsoon Magazine, the first South Asian literary magazine on the web. One of our speakers, Namita Malhotra, couldn't join us, so I'm just going to read out a small note on the Video Poetry Collective that will be screened after the session. Video Poetry Collective was about a bunch of filmmakers, video artists, video experimenters coming together to challenge each other and share their enthrallment with poems. In different ways, each of them had previously used words and images and videos together, worked with poets or alongside them, made films about poetry, padams, ghazals, had themselves written poetry and erotica and stories, made visually laden poetic films, and so on. it's not so much these films are about finding a new form, that it is a separate form of experimental film or short film, but about a moment in which each of us has found himself using images as a language and grammar and found it exciting to explore together. I'm just going to signal each of you all with the next.
Before I start, I'm just going to tell you a little. So a few months ago, I went to some friends in a wedding and they called a whole bunch of their friends over. And so they asked this friend of theirs who they're married, they've been dating for like 20 years, they were married now for 10 years, to give them advice on why they stayed together and how they got together and things like that. And so this friend of mine, she was telling her story about her when she met her husband. And she said, the first day I met him, I found this really cute tattoo on his left hand, felt near neck, and I really liked it. I thought it was the cutest thing about him. And much after she finished giving her speech, the husband says, I don't have that tattoo. And so it really surprised me, and what really drove me is that what we remember most about our relationships are mostly motions, like the actions that we do in these relationships, and what we end up remembering most about people that we're with is body parts. And so I wrote this entire series on like body parts. I'm going to read you 3 of them and in an order.
You lost 1 minute.
Of course, I'm losing his 1 minute. I wouldn't. So this one's called hands. When your heart is broken, you should doubt, but quickly you learn to put back the pieces, though never in the same shape. Mine is an arch now. It used to be a beach ball, a fortress, a mango, and sometimes it is water. It takes the shape of your eye, it shimmers in your palm. Learning to put back the pieces takes 2 sets of hands. One that knows one piece, the other set discovering them anew. Each jagged edge has the epic parts. His hands must be callous enough to play with them, soft enough to reach the cut. Sometimes you might be the new hands. Be kind, be generous. You will expect the same. My hands have always been either haphazardly plugging the gaps, not concerned with shapes, or too stuck to create new ones. I was never very good at making things with my hands. My hands betray me, staying awake late at night, giving each other company. I like your hands. They've got certain knowledge, having tapped on various doors, pulled down underwear, undone knots in the pits of numerous stomachs, struggled with replicating the effects of the first time. That's true. Hands that told lies to other hands. Hands that have wiped off the sauce and mayo from the side of lips. Hands that have played substitute replacement in disciplinarian teachers that have collapsed at night into wonderful for boys all over. Hands that have been distractedly nibbled. All these things you've done for me. Hands that have been intertwined with mine and intimacy, just to belong to the world with this romance of you. You are nothing. Nothing. You are nothing but surprise. They are surprise. They are surprise. It's over plus to take over. So go on. Let your hands gain on my body. Friction, shape me.
Nagaraj.
ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಾನು looks like I'm the lone ಕನ್ನಡಿಗ here possibly this only Kannada voice. My first poem goes like this. ಅವಳ ಎವೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಹಗಲು ತುಂಬುತ್ತದೆ ಅವಳ ಎವೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಹಗಲು ತುಂಬುತ್ತದೆ ಬಿಚ್ಚಿದರೆ ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆರದಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಶುಕ್ರನ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ಜೋಡು ರೋಜ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಶುಕ್ರನ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ಜೋಡು ಪ್ರಖರವಿದ್ದರೂ ಉಷ್ಣವೆನಿಸದ ಉರಿಯದೆಯೂ ಯಥೇಚ್ಛವಾದ ಅವಳಿಂದ ಕಿಡಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಕಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳರೋಡೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೊಳಹಿನಿಂದ ಸಾಲು ಹೊಸೆಯುವ ಬೆಳಕು ಸ್ವಂತವಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲವ ಎಚ್ಚರವನ್ನು ಪುಳಕಿಸುವ ಕರ ಪರಿಕರವೆಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಾಯುತ್ತದೆ ಜೋಪಾನ ಎಚ್ಚರವನ್ನು ಪುಳಕಿಸುವ ಕರ ಪರಿಕರವೆಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಾಯುತ್ತವೆ ಜೋಪಾನ ಸನ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮದ ಸೆಳಕುಗಳ ಋಣ
Can you cue the video? So, so this poem was written my response to watching Felix Baumgartner jump from the edge of space. You can play it. Okay. Felix descends. At the moment he's supposed to jump, there's an interstitial split. I'm watching it live on the internet. The video freezes and he's gone from the capsule list, vanished like that before he reappears as a speck falling through the sky. I'm falling with him, catching up with himself, breaking the barrier of sound, a teacup rattling 1,000 cells. For a moment, I hope, you hope too, there'd be no fall at all. God has spoken in reverse and poof, we're asleep at our desks, dreaming white balloons, wide sky aching blue, rubbing the darkened edges of our visions, curved with the shape of Earth. But no, it's the Matrix, existence confirmed, and we are a sonic bullet never heard, moving too fast for self-consciousness, written as a sequence of zeros and ones. Call it sometimes O, not zero. Call it true, false, and sometimes both. 0110, because he is, I am, you are, breaking through binary code, rising from the exhaled word, Hal's motherless voice, reporting from the void / world, waking the tiny shaken pieces that don't match up. No, he's Felix again, falling through sky. An age ago, an hour. He forms the mouth into words. There's fear of it not happening afterwards. Thank you.
Minal.
Introduction. Tell me your name. Tell me about your name. Tell me the blue nuances of your name. How you have been misspelled and misunderstood. Tell me how your mother chose your name, or if she had a choice. Tell me what your name was before it was your name. Notice of fictitious visitation. This thing covering something will henceforth be called skin. Its inner scaffolding is named bone. The system of sinews that shapes it, let's call it muscle or id. Growing outward from it is soft waves of hair, is sex. Deep inside, geography untamed, is the soul, solely occupied with mapping itself silently with no will or ill intent. Intending ease of transmission, this whole calls itself Minal. Cuts the ribbon, throws over the doors, intends to serve.
Shikha.
Hi, this poem is about how I learned Hindi. I was born in England and the first language I learned was English. So, lingua franca. One. The voice of a little girl saying, Papa's got big legs, Papa's got big teeth, in a crisp British accent. And from behind her shoulder, a little boy with a little boy accent, insisting he wants to say, hello, 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 and doesn't realize that he already has. The tape recorder has caught it all. Dadi speaks to us in Hindi so that we will learn simple things like come here, yahan, go there, wahan jao, eat food, Bring that book, Pustaklawal, and we do. The Devanagari is written closed with a straight roof and a wall to support the sides. Each alphabet leaning in, turning phonetic tricks. Our tongues forming calisthenics. All of us partaking in the linguistic Olympics, going for the gold. 3. I remember Uncle Tom's Cats, not because it was a sad story, not because Uncle Tom died, but because I read it in Hindi. Tam Kakaki Kutiyai. I would repeat this title over and over again because it sounded funny and because Kutiya mispronounced meant bitch and it all sounded onomatopoeic, though it was only alliteration shared. I graduated from picture alphabet books where the Hindi vowel had a round red pomegranate next to it, and I had a giant orange-colored mango with a small green leaf on its stem. Hungry for all the vowels, the fruit within them, tangy and sour, I plucked them off the page and into my mouth.
We'll just screen the video poetry by Namita.
destiny's praise had snapped one coil and split in strands and turned us below, distilling a another diamond for room. Then consciousness that was still as rapt a contest as one had ever had in common. Through the cabin, we could each enter from the hidden place and feet loom from that flux into bodies, and the man laid himself flat on the moving floor with the hope of moving in before the inspectors and the magistrates stood. But things had changed. Now little girls with pursed lips stared at the story of our land, knowing already of a journey that none escaped. It had chosen us. There was nowhere to go but into. Thrill. Below that, utter powerlessness. Below that, the will of contrapuntal continental plates, the abbreviation. In the early days of the Delhi metro, the only explosions you saw were of men in orange shirts, ladies with purple lips, a hunchback in a spotless, unrippling white suit he wore with so much style, I thought I would cry. Each stop had its merits, as the doors parted an enormous containing tubular log light of life the longer view to the naked eye new notions of freedom gesticulating and circulating up to the vibration of crossing wires carelessly outside these cells. It was each cell lay salvation on display. It was hope so vast it had to devour us, while the day could still reveal the measure of the kid who ran to his mother's wrist-flicking gesture, or up top, a man with a gas cylinder on his bike. These very sights made us tremble, as if they might dissolve into the hinterland, where bulldozers blazed and the clocks parceled themselves sparsely out, and the resorts were arriving to hoist their colored flags, pink, green, two reds, and on and on. And when the smear was sacrificed dry on the tarmac, speed was the state the new state wanted. Speed was the goblet we chugged, that picture in our window, that indefinite, garrulous grey pasture, that thin and continuous bar pretending to be the moving thing, that picture in our window, that indefinite, garrulous, grey pasture, that thin and continuous bar pretending to be the moving thing. And we could not resist pressing our faces to that glass, and we made our own time pass in our banishment. And we were so young then, young enough to faintly perceive our own aging. There wasn't much money, but almost enough of it, and more was manufactured every day. We bitched about each other a little less than before or after, and we wore our weight when it fit us. We sunbathed in the everywhere view, and though the bulbs seemed to disappear, the world penumbral of pimps and hookers and good time gigolos who had lived in the crannies of that fantastic, dwarfing, now ancient architecture, fantastic, now dwarfing,
One evening of dancing in the tango in Plaza Dorero is like taking a 20-kilometer walk with your lover. It's the distance your feet travel. Dancing for the whole day will be a road trip. At the whole night, it's a weekend getaway. The first night we noticed each other, you were in boots, like someone willing to take a trek, to walk, like someone up for a challenge. There's something so refreshing about someone ready to tear down the picket. There's something so ominous about our feet. They always promise more strange. I love your feet, even your feet in boots. I've never been one to wear shoes. Resisting has led to ashy feet and cracked heels. Not wearing shoes means not being able to leave with every lover. It means sometimes having to sit this one out so he can have all the fun. And you had boots. They see no obstacles, they see no walls. It's like a vine bursting through, bringing with it a promise, but also the untested. Cracking the familiar, unleveling the ground, turning into the gauche city rat has a tightrope walk. Running around with a lover, even the known becomes the blur. Like the potential of every night in a foreign city. Suddenly everything is confused, everything filtered and grainy, everything is just street light, pavements, cigarette buttons, potholes, signal lights, parks, shops, restaurants, thresholds, doors, windows, sofas, beds, diets, old uncle bottles, cigarettes, lighters, everything is magic. It's like that moment you discover that cheese lives everywhere. It gives everything a kick. Oh, when you leave, remember to kick me. But let the action be motored by pain, but also gentleness. Let it be an act to teach me a lesson. That when a lover walks away, however his feet are, that everything suddenly regains functionality. Feet are no longer beacons to kiss, no longer spades to excavate distance, no longer spoons to slurp the night, no longer pillars or scratching posts. They are feet. They get you from one stage to the next, one man to the other. Your feet, they're special though. They seem to have walked towards me, but ordinarily they seem to be walking away from me. But unsheathed, naked, they have sought karma, they've betrayed you, fallen, the lost line of defense. It's why I truly enjoy your voice. We must lie down. Because lying down in bed, we're able to rest, able to grace, able to intertwine, to resist, negotiate for space, to linger, to make mercurial contact, to travel, to discover, to read, to lay plot for revolution. We are able.
Nagaraj.
ಟ್ರೆಡ್ಮಿಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓಡುವಾಗ ಅದಿಬದಿಗೆ ಲೋಕ ನಿಶ್ಚಲ ಅಥವಾ ಹಾಗನಿಸುವ ಟ್ರೆಡ್ಮಿಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓಡುವಾಗ ಅದಿಬದಿಗೆ ಲೋಕ ನಿಶ್ಚಲವಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆಗನಿಸುವ ಇಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೂ ಜಡವೆಂದು ಭ್ರಮೆ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಓಡುವ ರೈಲಿನ ಅವಧಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಹಿಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಓಡುವ ರಭಸ ಸುಳ್ಳುಗಾಡಿ, ಅದು ಜಂಗಮನ ಭಾಸ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಓಡಿದರೂ ನನ್ನ ಹೊರತು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲೇ ಎದುರು ಕನ್ನಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಓಟದ ಬಿಂಬವು ನನ್ನಂತೆ ಅವಿರದ ಓಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಏನೇನೂ ಕ್ರಮಿಸದೆ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲೇ ಅದು ನನ್ನಂತೆ ಅವಿರದ ಓಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಏನೇನೂ ಕ್ರಮಿಸದೆ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ ಕ್ರಮಣವೆನ್ನುವುದು ಭ್ರಮಣ ಭಾಸ. ಈ ಊರೊಳಗಿನ ಭಾವೋದವು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೂ ಬಿಡದೆ ಮೇಲೆ ತನ್ನ ಓಟ ಹಚ್ಚುತ್ತದೆ. ಓಡುತ್ತಲೇ ಉಪ್ಪಡೆಯದೆ ಬದುಕು ಸಂದುತ್ತ ಸುತ್ತು ನಿವ್ವಳದಲ್ಲೇನು ಎಲ್ಲದ ಓಡುವ ಕಾಮಕೂಟಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಕೋಟಿ ಕೂಡಿಂದ ನಿಲ್ಲುವ ನೆತಿಕಲು ಓಟ ಊಟ ಕಾಮಕೂಟಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಕೋಟಿ ಕೂಡಿಂದ ನಿಲ್ಲುವ ತಿಕ್ಕಲು ತೆವಲು ಬದಲಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಬಳಿ ಹುಲುವಾರು ಇರಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದರೆ ಬಣ್ಣ ಬಗೆದು ಹತ್ತಾರು ಜನ್ಮಾಂತರ ಆಗಬಹುದಾದೇನೋ.
Okay, these next two poems imagine different models of the universe. The first one imagines the time in the universe expanding faster than the speed of light, cooling down, not supporting the formation of new stars, and the stars that we see now have crossed the point in which their light can ever reach back to us. The universe goes dark. Eventually, the stars far-off headlights blink off, one by one, in a sky growing more and more silent. No more humming from the microwave's burned-out filament. It will be like how we never met, driving a mountain path, winding up and up. Where's the music, I say? The radio's turned to static, and the high beams we flashed could never actually connect. I was rounding one side while you were climbing the other, just ahead, moving faster than I could ever breathe. The second one imagines the expansion and contraction of the universe, of a different scenario. And it takes its title and inspiration from the Matrix. Neo takes the red pill of negative infinity. Forget troops of ants. They can't see the whole scene, dragging tiny pieces towards the center of Earth. A toil of empty spaces waits to occur. Is stillness even possible? I want the pattern to make sense. Wheels of certainty and happenstance to bump against their own grooved paths, pinning us against a membrane of the universe. One day it will give like a rubber band snap. The moment when we cease to exist, God's exhale finished at last, and the giant glass sphere he was blowing, iridescent, sparkling, each individual pinpoint, a plethora of pinpoints, merging back to one, will shine before it goes dark, will dazzle with the staggering intricacies of snowflakes. A continuum of moving parts sucks in stardust, spews it back out. The fine powder of nothing comes from nothing, it only changes form. In a universe next door, they're vacuuming the floor, complaining last night the neighbor's party ended with a bang. Thank you.
Minal.
I think I'll stand, so I'll be almost as tall as Joshua. So this poem is unfinished, and I would like your help. So when I pause, I'm going to wait for a word from you. And so I would like you all to just shout out a word that you think fits in the sentence. Is that okay? Are people willing to help? Yes. Okay, great, fantastic. The poem is called The Goddess of Lemons. Listen, my poet laureate, if tonight I make a fool of myself at the circus, do me a little favor, applaud wildly, ride for me, astride the swift verbose fossil dove of peace between us, to soothe my senses, shame of twisted fingers, pride of perfect pitch, this desire for tea with honey and lemon, which comes from a night of what? Passion. A night of passion. Meet me under the balcony if you want to be my blue sky. We'll paint chiaroscuros to the goddess of love. Sing arias to the god of hopeless quests. Dig up fistfuls of earth and sleep in a sweet unrest. Let's enjoy this passion like a miracle of war. Let's feel richer and not poorer this year because of the odor of lemons. So come, embrace my louder. Empty. Emanate. Lemonade. Come embrace my lemonade. Abandon your shield and your wine, which conceal your last sneeze. Take my talons like a scorpion of nature, for the moment of the death of the world, the moment we won't have, the final abrogation, when we will float in the middle of a storm. Let's prepare for winter, our minds for discord, not the perfume of a journey of just language alone. Song and silence can't fail to bring knowledge of the ultimate divinity. My illusory mouths at the time of repose are not rumors of blue doves that dance solos for piano, sitar, and guitar. The priggish dance of the earth towards sun. One movement against the tedium of winter. The light in your eyes. Love this. When a journey ends like this, cut short, you can be sure it's the work of the goddess of loudness, tart sherbet of your heart, petty scrotum lust, that crazy story about yellow. She tells the sun when there are no more. Thanks for your help.
Shikha.
Well, it's mango season, so I thought it'd be nice to share a poem on mangoes that I wrote. It's called Mad About Mangoes. You might think it sounds cliche and exotic, but I'm going to write about mangoes as if my life depended on it. I can hear you snickering when they say her breasts are like juicy mangoes, and then at your disbelief when you look and realize they actually are. In the Mahabharata, they call it the complete fruit. Sampurna, eat a mango, and all needs are satisfied. All nutrition is delivered. Mango can be salvation. The shape of the share of the Buddha, a paisley embroidered on silk, carved on dough. And if you must eat them, buy them by the crate, then soak them in a bucket and cool them, for each mango has the sun burning within it. Of course, size matters, and color too. The small, raw green ones taste good, grated, salted, pickled, and the bigger, fleshy ones have threads that get stuck between teeth. And the ones that are not so big or so small, they're the sweetest of them all. Puncture a hole in its head and suck until deflated, until its yellow blood stains your teeth. Last time, be thankful you're not a cross-dresser named Mango or the Bollywood vamp Mango Dolly who captured Indian cowboy Quick Gunner Murugan's heart and took a bullet for him because being named after a fruit spells trouble.
We've been very liberal with this round. With the last one, we're actually going to stop you at 2 minutes. Joshua?
This is the last round. It's called Mouth. Imagine we could have looking back at the time you had to truly know something. You had to put it in your mouth. Your mouth is late February, it is cherished, sweet on the first sniff, and then only sweeter till drifting is inevitable. Your mouth is sometime of December, bitter winter, the kind that East European men will boast about while you are shivering. Your mouth is sometimes uninviting, unlike these men who are willing to taste everything once. My sweat, charm, lots of hash from Morocco, the hot chili sauce from Walk and Go, and beer in every every form of. Imagine we could go back a book. The warning that everything in our UK is inedible and tasteless holds true for everything that is not exported to a holiday. Though I realize I would come back and taste my grandmother's Nagaraj chutney, the mouth on liability. I know my first serve tastes of synthol as the years, like axe near his arm after his pubes. My grandmother's chutneys are always generous and chili. My grandfather's food on garlic. My best friend puts generous amounts of tomato on all his food. My flatmate likes lime. But all of you know, your mouth on the other hand isn't so excited by fry. Not interested in the juicy, overwhelming, fleshy, the violet. So much these orifices register. So much your laws register. So much my laws register.
ಸೂರ್ಯವಿರದ ಚಂದ್ರವಿರದ ಇನ್ನು ತಾರಕೆಗಳು ಇರದಾಗಲೇ ನೆಲ ನೀರು ಗಾಳಿ ಇರಗಳೇ ಅವಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡಿದೆ ಹಗುರವೆನ್ನಲು ಆಕಾಶವೂ ಶಿರದ ಆ ಲಘುತ್ವವನ್ನು ಏನನ್ನು ಮನೆಯುವುದು ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾನವಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಬಹುಶಃ ಅವಕಾಶಕ್ಕೂ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶವಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಖಲನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯಾಮವಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ದ್ರ ಅನ್ನುವುದು ಅವಳ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ವ್ಯುತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಕ್ರಮೇಣ ಶಾಖ ಪೂರೈಸಿ ಬೆಳಕು ಹುಟ್ಟಿರಬೇಕು ಪಸರುವಂತೆ ಹಬ್ಬಿ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯೇ ವ್ಯೋಮವಾಗಿ ಗೋಚರವೆಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ದಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಾಣದ್ದು ಲೀಲೆ ಮುಂದೊಮ್ಮೆ ಆದ ಒಂದಾನೊಂದು ಸೂರ್ಯದ ಈ ಭೂಗ್ರಹದ ಮಂದಿ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಳೆದೇ ಅಳೆಯುವರು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸ್ಖಲನವನ್ನು ಸ್ರಾವವನ್ನು ಅಸಂತುಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಯಶಃ ಆ ಮುಂದೆ ಐನ್ಸ್ಟೀನ್ ತರುವಾಯದ ಮುತ್ಸದ್ದಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಜನನದ ಫಲಶ್ರುತಿಗೆ ಗಣಿತದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯುಲಾ ಬರೆದು ನೊಬೆಲ್ ಗಳಿಸುವನು. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ 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 ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
This poem has our movements. It's a cheerleading poem, so I hope you can prepare yourselves for that. And there's just one note I need to tell you about the frame of reference in the poem. There's in American cinema, when they wanted to create the sound effect of a murmuring crowd, they would pay actors to sit and repeat the word rhubarb. So you should do that. Victory spelled with arms. One. Sharp arm movements blur blue and white, open unbent in many directions like a Swiss Army knife. They suggest all caps, which is shouting like you are. Time now for a pyramid. Bodies climb bodies, leap down. Upraised arms are these, a whole row of them. I is who you are, and she is, and they are. Y'all, this is an army, coiffed and smiling. Hula hips, curly leotards, curl it. While pleated, curl that CTORY while pleated skirts pedal pleat open to sun. The game just begun. Two. Clocks with red numbers mounted on walls count down, not up, won't circle. Clocks slice hours and divvy them up, a button to pause it. The ball boy is Jesse who will die young. In the meantime, all that same time talking. The tricks to forward zoom, tune into tiny conversations. Panning out, nothing is heard, the hubbub of rhubarb. Three. Cacophony of a circular view. Not 360, but as sound afar. Now you see. Now you stand outside, seeing you as other. Which part is eternal? The shape of your hands holding water. The shape of your hands making the shape of froze. The shape of your hands as hands, yours and hers, it's all a blur. The shape of that lady standing at the door is not your mother. Thank you.
After many lifetimes, the seeker advances to the celestial realm. No one told me, now I see why they couldn't tell me how it is here afterward. For who can speak of chimpanzee lust, Buddha, swinging treetop to treetop, guzzling and nuzzling brown limbs, while earnest pale-faced Buddha glows moon-chased like cheese, chanting sutras in languages once spoken by toes. Or how all day long the Buddha, the clear path mind, eats puffs of air exhaled by other beings, while each night the Buddha of gaseous winds swallows portions of stars to fill herself with a stinking orange-green light. No theology to document the 21,000 births and deaths of phosphorus Buddha, how he led 21 billion beings into grace, nor explain ogre treasure Buddha bearing adamantine teeth to trample the manifold worlds, rainbow feet stained with every species' blood. I watch them die. And oh, how the Buddha of radiant cannibalism tingles with irreversible loss in his bosom, in his stargazing tongue. We lie back and gaze up through myriad skies, layered into each other, a mad child's confection sprinkled with hundreds and thousands of small gods in dazzling frequencies that would blind a human eye, as if each molecule of a mist were suddenly to sharpen, burst into constellations, till every life form wiggles infrared on a million small moons. And through all this, the Buddha of red veils absorbs aches into her arched back, while the rotten nail polish Buddha chews and chews delusions down to bleeding flesh of reality. No wonder back then in the regular lifetime they told me just one story, how Shakyamuni awakened at a scrubbed sunrise under the clean bright boughs of the peepal tree. Oh, most compassionate Buddhas, which one of you shall guide me, this newbie, through pink crusts of enlightenment on the dung heap of nirvana? Here where I have come trembling before the Buddha of 1,001 syllables, naked of my skin, ready for my final name. That's the Buddha banging doors. Thank you. And thank you so much to LIT.MUS for having us here at the festival.
Does anyone want to ask anything? Sorry, I'm so sorry. I thought Minal said thank you, so I thought I would ask.
All right. Well, I have two small poems from my book, which is called Geography of Tongues. And these poems are actually about the physical act of speaking, about the tongue. The first one was based on a doctor, well, I'll just read the poem and then I'll tell you about the background. It's called A Rapid Tongue Thing Going. Dear Mr. White Male Caucasian Pediatrician, flattening my daughter's tongue and paring down her throat while remarking she has a rapid tongue thing going. The tongue that you call rapid has 1,000 fires in it and 1,000 showers of lotuses. Perhaps we do as if we have to catch a train. Each word is poised at an overcrowded station on our tongues bound for India and back within milliseconds. With our clove and cardamom-scented breath, we spread the fragrance of our pungent lives, and in the span of a minute, we find out how Auntie is doing after the flash flood in her village, and when the next sari sale will be, or where the best bitter gourds are available, or how the thesis on language acquisition is going. A rapid tongue can trace the world in one lick with the force of a ghost chili kick. So next time, please don't ask me why we talk so quickly, so harshly, so loudly, unless you want to ask nicely.
Thank you so much. Does anyone want to ask any questions?
Nagaraj, for us non-Kannada speakers, could you sort of just tell us a little bit about your poems that you read out, your pieces that you read out?
Personally, I feel that poetry can't be described, right? So what should I be talking about? Well, I'm an architect by profession, and all my literary work, I consider that it's an extension or the side effect of my architecture. What cannot be expressed through my lines, walls, buildings, those emotions get channelized through literature maybe. Kannada happens to be my mother tongue, and it's the language of my heart. So many people ask me why do you have your work translated? I don't think the nuances of Kannada cannot be captured in English to begin with. And secondly, these are very personal experiences. So are the expressions. So that's about it. ಕನ್ನಡವನ್ನೇ ಕಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಂತೀರ. This is what you asked me? Is this what you asked me? What did I?
As a gist, yeah. Just to understand the crux of what you were reading out.
Oh, I misheard it. Sorry. All that I said is poetry cannot be described. No, I don't think so.
This guy has been a little heavy.
Really? ಹೌದಾ? ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ? ಒಪ್ಕೋತೇನೆ.
This is a conversation we cannot understand right now.
Well, all that I meant was that it's truly a personalized opinion. I don't think I'll be able to kind of put it
Summarize. Just fine. But it's really